is a man who has been thrusted into the GOAT conversation since the first day he came into this industry. He's a former football player, but whenever he took over the WWE, he knew immediately this was his land, this was his world, this was his show, this was the company he would carry through the hardest time in the history of our industry. There's no fans, there's no tickets. What do we need? We need a hero, we need a savior, we need our tribal chief. Ladies and gentlemen, Roman. A lot of ones to the sky at 9 a.m. in a convention center in Las Vegas for the original, the official, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Good to be here, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. They're not going to let us work, huh?
I know. This sounds better than anything I could sing. Not you. Obviously, you could speak much better than this, but for me...
I sing like a bird. I got a beautiful voice.
I bet you do. I bet you do, our tribal chief. With that being said, congrats on everywhere you go, everything you do, everybody knowing who you are, and everybody respecting what you do. This whole place showed up here this morning to do one thing and one thing alone.
Acknowledge me. There we go. It's early. I don't do it this early in the morning, so I forgot to get that out of the way. Sorry, my bad, guys.
That's a morning hit. They did want to acknowledge you. Congrats on everything, obviously. This weekend, you're not a champion, and it's not for a title, but it feels like it's for something much bigger than any gold-plated belt that you could wear on your shoulder or around your waist. What are your thoughts going into this triple threat with the three biggest names of an era battling in the main event of WrestleMania?
I want the power back. I want it all back. I want that top spot back. I'm so tired of hearing Cody Rhodes running around here talking about quarterback one. What are we even talking about? There's only one quarterback. This is a tribal chief. I want to be that number one contender. I want a title. I'm not trying to be I get it. I love that you love me, but I don't want to be a legend. I'm not trying to be a Hall of Famer right now. I'm trying to be in the mix. I'm trying to hold it down. I'm trying to take the top spot and hold the power by its throat.
Yeah, and I think I was very lucky to be a part of the run where you had the title in the business by the thread.
Everybody was lucky.
It was great times. Good. It was great times. $billion deals. Look at Cole.
He hadn't even spent that money yet.
Exactly.
That thing went straight to investments. Yeah. You don't even need it yet. That's for your kids.
Life was very good with you at the top. How many days was he champion?
Over 1,300 days as champion.
You don't even know the exact.
13, 16. Too many.
Hold on, bro. That was a test. That was a test. He passed.
13, 16. But this, to me, is the biggest statistic when it comes to Roman Reigns. When he walks into the ring tomorrow night in the main event at WrestleMania Saturday, it will be the 10th time in his career that Roman Reigns will main event WrestleMania. No one has ever done that.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I think at the beginning of your career, that type of stat that is now 10, a lot of these people thought this guy's getting forced into this position. This guy's getting forced into this position. I think at the beginning of your run, that's how they felt. Not me, Tribal Chief. I just want to let you know. Always, before you were even doing this.
Yeah.
You know, when you do you know, you had the whole thing.
We missed that.
Yeah. Eat better. Yeah.
It could have been a great week if we had that vest on.
Yeah, now we got to be shredded up oos. Now we got to be shredded up oos.
Hey, nice magazine shoot, by the way.
Yeah, you look great.
Awesome.
You look great.
Awesome.
Just doing a little art.
The interview was great, too.
Yeah.
You can't pull that off, though. You know what I'm saying?
I loved it, Roman. I absolutely loved it.
We got to cover
Couple
this
of the
up.
extras.
Yeah, let's move.
Can we get more clothes on him?
More,
Can we
please.
put another jacket on for you?
Yeah, a robe and a jacket on him. But at the beginning of your career, you were in main events. And a lot of these people who were diehard wrestling fans who love the business thought maybe you weren't the right guy for it. What do you think about the amount of experience you got so earlier in your career in WWE and how it's helped you now? Because you have been in the big spots since you got here, if I'm not mistaken. Well-deserved, well-earned, but in the fans' eyes, maybe forced early. But what does that do for you now long-term, you think, as a professional wrestler, a GOAT?
Well, we've always had fans like you. We've always had supporters, people on my side. So it wasn't always just one-sided. You know, the negativity is always going to be the loudest. So that's always what's heard. But we've always sold merch. We've always held it down every single night. I've treated every single show as if it's WrestleMania. So that's why I think I'm held in that regard, is because I take it that seriously and I perform on that level. But I did learn. Being in the heat, being in the fire, it makes you learn. When you're taking L's, you either categorize them as losses or you're learning from them. They're learning lessons. And that's what I did over the years, is just compile, you know, this Rolodex and just take down all this info and just, you know, all the experience, remember everything, learn from it, and then I got better.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Like a quarterback who plays a long time, he sees a lot of the defenses. So like we talk to Aaron Rodgers, obviously, on a regular basis. Interesting. He's got an interesting decision to make in his life. But he'll when he talks ball, he'll say that he played, like, let's say it's a Week 11 game last season, 2024. He'll say, I saw a defensive coverage that they tried to show me in 2011, and his recall will literally be in the moment, having to adjust and change. For you, with all the different matches you've been, what are you drawing from in a triple threat match, right? Because I mean, that is, you don't even have to be involved to lose this thing. Obviously, those two can attack you, which chances are that they do, but the way you three hate each other as a whole could be all chaos. I don't know who's going to team up with who, but what are you taking into the match? What is the strategy? Is there a strategy that you've been able to use before, or how do you kind of feel going in?
I'm just going to do it like my daddy used to do and just smash people, man. Just go in there and wreck everybody.
Smash them?
I'm better rested. I'm in better shape. I'm bigger. I'm stronger. I'm faster than both those dudes. I'm going to go in and I'm going to shut it down ASAP.
Are we going to edge Bryan Danielson?
Right away. Just get him.
Stack him.
Oh, God.
You remember?
I forgot about it.
Yeah. We smash them. We stack them.
2 times.
Dog.
But what I did want to touch on is, because you gave me kind of 2 questions there. It was a little, you know, you're a little scattered on that guy there. But you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he's able to see the defense. I'm able to go into an arena or into like the public like this, and I can hear them, and then I can feel them. That's what we pro wrestlers do. That's what us sports entertainers do. Is it's not about seeing the defense. We can feel what the audience is doing, and then you can become connected with them. And then that's how you take all that experience and all that past, you know, all those learning lessons I had. Like, oh, I heard this before. Oh, I know what to do now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that kind of tying into that.
Okay, I like the average. That's a great tie-in.
Give you a little, you know.
I think that was like a super genius tie-in there, actually. D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, I got a question. So, going back, and obviously, you know, wrestling is in your blood, so you've seen it your whole life. But what was that first moment? Obviously, you played football as well. What was that WrestleMania moment? You talked about treating every match like Mania, but it's nothing like this. Is only my second one in person. But what was your first moment as a kid that you remember that stands out, that you like, okay, I can't wait to be in that position?
It was the WrestleMania here, way back in the day. Me and the twins were little. We were up in their dad Rikishi's den watching the show. And just, it was outside. It was, I don't know, it being daytime, it put a different like vibe and a different energy on it. And it just felt so big. We had Yokozuna in the main event. Their dad, Rikishi, was, I believe, the Head Shrinkers back in the day. I'm not a historian here. Yep. And it was a long time ago.
Just your family.
But yeah, just to have that representation, you know what I mean? That's what was cool for me, and that's one of those moments that takes me back to my childhood, and then also triggers where like, oh man, I think I could do that too. You know, I think I can do what my family's doing.
That'd be crazy if you did a 23andMe, and it's just.
Well,
yeah, actually don't. Whatever, you know, one of those ones where they find out your family to get connected. Yours was just literally that tree that they showed last year at WrestleMania.
We don't do it. They're trying to clone our DNA. We don't want to do that.
Yeah,
they're trying to get the data, you know, on the goods here. We don't want to do that.
So, Roman, you know, when you came back during the COVID era as a different Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the bloodline, when you head into WrestleMania tomorrow night in the main event, for the first time in like 5 years, you're going to be alone. You're going to walk down that aisle alone. There's no bloodline.
I'm there.
And perhaps more importantly,
I'll meet you out there, though.
Perhaps more importantly, there's no Paul Heyman. Monday night, you had asked him for an apology. It never happened because it was interrupted. Tell us, when Paul Heyman, Punk cashed in the favor to have Heyman in his corner tomorrow night, what did that do to you? Mentally, emotionally, personally?
Yeah, and what was going on Monday when CM Punk was smooching up on Paul when you showed up? Did you see that? He was smooching up on him. They were right here.
Yeah, that's not really my style, but
Me neither.
Well said, dude.
yeah. It's almost like deja vu, man. I feel like this has happened countless times, and it's one of those deals, you know, it's why do I keep trusting people? Why do I keep giving people a chance? And that's the thing, everybody thinks a helping hand is, you know, it's like this. Sometimes it's going to smack the shit out of you, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's not nice. Sometimes people don't understand how that helping hand's going to come. And then also, they don't understand what the helping hand is going through. So for them to all just be the way they were, to be able to just betray me and leave me where I stand.
But this is Paul, Roman. This is a guy who's been with you through everything. He's been your counsel. He's been your wise man. And then all of a sudden, it's not there in one of the biggest matches of your career tomorrow night.
Paul needs one of these, Roman.
Please, dude.
I mean, you got to be hurt.
Paul's known you since you were a child. I know.
Who's telling this guy to ask the questions here? What you want me to get emotional? You want me to cry?
Is that what you want on WrestleMania,
Cole? Is that what you want? You want me to come up here and boo-hoo about the wise man? The wise man made his choice.
Yeah.
You understand me? These people can make their choice. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to WrestleMania night 1 on Saturday. I'm whooping everybody's ass. And if the wise man wants to get in the ring too, he can get it too. You understand? So keep touching on emotional stuff. Keep pulling these triggers. And they're going to chant for other reasons. You understand?
Hey, Cole, stop being dumb.
Fool.
I know you don't have a lot of time. I know we're wasting it with this guy. Now, with that being said.
My nutritionist is back there. He's like, man, the cortisol's going up. Changing the look right now. Bro.
Okay, just real quick. I can't. Hey, is this?
I think he pissed himself.
Oh, PP loose Cole. I love that.
Oh, PP bag. Oh, booze bag, PP bag boy.
And I'm glad I showed up today.
Cole, great to have you here. Thank you for being a great in the history of the business. The Paul Heyman stuff, he's known you since you were a kid. Obviously, he's talked about that. You and he have obviously done great blockbuster numbers. I think a lot of people are going to potentially miss the business of you two being together, especially when he was going to hand you that microphone the other day and you just went and grabbed your own. I thought that was a cool moment between Paul Heyman and you. He decided to ruin that. What does this mean going forward? Is there a potential, and it's over for Paul? What is, in your mind, how you deal with this after this match, I guess? Have you even thought about that?
I'm doing what any man with his back against the wall would do. I'm going to go out there and show that I'm useful. I'm going to go out there and make myself the #1 contender and then put myself in line for the power. And then once I get the key to the kingdom, we'll see what everybody's got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, a great man once said to me, and I assume it was back in the day, every once in a while, the king has got to roll a head down the hill to remind the people at the bottom of the hill that the king is still the king. Excited to see what you do when you get back on top. With that being said, Razor Ramon has a question for you, Roman Reigns.
Roman, I'd like to acknowledge you first. Roman Reigns! Roman Reigns! Roman! Sorry to booing me.
No, you did it. Pretty good work.
We did that. Yeah. We'll turn him.
You did that, Tribal Chief. I did nothing. One of my favorite parts from your documentary was when, Jimmy and Jey were talking about you and you were talking about them. What's it mean as well for, Jey to have that opportunity to go get a World Heavyweight Championship? Obviously, same night as you, so he can't really lock in on it till later on. But are you excited for that opportunity for him?
Man. I can't even put it in words, It's not easy being a twin. I'm raising them, and I've watched them their whole lives compete, and I've competed with them, And Jey, our entire lives, has been a little bit of the run. You know what I mean? If there was one a little bit 10% down, it was always Jim has always been kind of that guy too. So to see Jey be able to break through these barriers, to see him be able to push to the ceiling, and then also understand, like, now he understands me a little better. You talk to him after Saturday, you talk to him after this weekend, and he's going to understand the elevation a little better. He probably already does. I'm sure he's been busy as hell this whole week, and I'm just so proud of him. Obviously, we have family's family, man. We're going to have some disagreements. We're going to have, we're going to butt heads in here and there. But at the end of the day, I want my family healthy, and I want them here a long time, being very successful. And that's exactly what he's doing. So, man, yeah. Yeet.
Yeet. How dare you ask an emotional question?
Well, that one actually landed, Cole.
Shut up, Cole.
It was like I don't know if it was like a twitch that almost backhanded him.
Cole misses WrestleMania. I know that you've been waiting on this probably since you walked out here and realized this was happening. Hulkster has a question for you.
Roman, first and foremost, I'd like to say, dude, it's nice to be sitting up here with the GOAT. Don't mind these fucking marks, okay? They don't know what I've done for the business. Obviously, you do, so I respect that, brother. First and foremost, what I'd like to say, I love the Vanity Fair piece. Loved the Vanity Fair piece, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. One thing I do want to ask you about, though, dude. What's the deal with Seth Rollins? This guy, I mean, he's obsessed with you. Coming back like a scored lover. I know a thing or two about those, brother. So my question would be, I guess, whose ass are you looking forward to kicking more? Is it CM Punk or is it Rollins? Because I feel like Rollins, you really do. You just got to disband to this guy. Just get him the hell out of here, dude.
I agree, man. He's what I call a lemon. He's Mr. Buyer's remorse. Yeah, we just have such a long history, and I would be, disingenuous if I didn't talk about that history, and I am proud of that history, and I did learn a lot from, that relationship and that development. But it's just one of those situations where there's just not enough room for the both of us. There's not enough money. There's not enough success. We can't have it all, and that's the position that he's in because I took it. And he's bitter about it. And he's been chasing me. Whoa. And talking about chasing, I mean, see.
Let him finish, Cole. Jesus Christ.
Are you? Whoa.
Hey, it's about to be pooping those pants, too.
Hey, we're about to get warmed up for Mania today, boy. I'm telling you, hey. We could snap this thing, I think.
Definitely you could.
But, yeah, Punk is just one of those guys who, how do you even get here?
I agree, dude.
You know what I'm saying? If the tribal chief didn't go and make this thing beautiful, make it heavenly, make the promised land what it is, he would have never wanted to come back here. So, if anything, like I said, he should be thanking me, acknowledging me. But he is one of those guys that I just don't really care about. He's in the, you know what I mean? He's in the crosshairs at this point, so he's going to get it too. And this whole thing with the wise man has just made it even deeper that I don't like, and I don't really want to talk about it. But Seth, because of the relationship and the brotherhood in the past, there are redeeming qualities about him, but at the end of the day, he's a piece of trash, too.
Whoa. Okay. Seth freaking Rollins says he's a visionary. He is a revolutionary. He is...
That was light. That was real light. That felt light.
That was a bad setup by me, though.
That was light, dude. I know a pop when I hear one. That's light, okay? Yeah, nothing like Roman's getting out there.
What does it look like from now until match time? I assume, because I've been watching the workouts, I've seen that Paul Heyman's been blowing up your phone. So many, no, 25 missed calls yesterday I saw on your Instagram. Also saw you going through some workouts. What does it look like from now until match time for you?
We just try to lock in and keep the process the exact same. Nothing changes. We try to keep the timing the same. The meals, have to stay scattered throughout the day. The cardio's got to stay in. The training's got to stay in. The recovery. So we brought the whole team. We made, South Florida. We brought it to Vegas. And
you brought your training camp here?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, okay. I don't want to get too deep. Do we rent a house out here? They got massive homes out here.
Oh, I can't give that away.
Because
I don't want to give my location away, but it's so nice. I wish I could plug it too, because it's badass.
Okay, so
my kids are running around crazy. It's
yes.
Nuts,
so these houses out here are absurd. The houses are crazy out here. Conor McGregor, I think, when he had his first fight over here, rented a house over here, brought his entire fight camp over, and it was like this 25,000 square foot. Had the training team in one part of the gym, and the other side, the nutritionist. You're treating this as main event, big time fight. We're moving fight camp from South Florida to Las Vegas.
This is a multi-million-dollar operation here. We're not messing around. You know what I mean? Like this isn't just old school. We're gonna make towns Saturdays. We don't do that no more. This is what it's all about. This is WrestleMania. You do not cut any corners. You can't be cheap. You got to make it happen.
Filling up Allegiant Stadium. Did you see that?
That's what I'm saying. I catch this dub. Everything's paid for the next 5 years or so we're good.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, WWE. That's right. I saw you hold the Raiders jersey up and asked them to acknowledge you. I saw some. A lot
of people not happy.
Saw some Niner gang.
No, I stayed true. Keep eye on all the content. You got to read every line, even the parentheses. You know what I'm saying? You got to read it all.
Okay.
You got to take it all in. But I acknowledge the Niners, the Niner gang. But at the end of the day, you got to show respect to the host. I was born and raised in the South. We got Southern hospitality. We show respect. You know.
That's very
yes,
kind of
you.
you.
No, sir. That type of stuff. You know.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how you were just trying to show the Raiders some respect because.
Host city, man.
They were acknowledging their tribal chief. It appeared.
The tribal chief is global. We have a home, town operation pretty much in every city here. The hometown, right? Sweet.
These people aren't from here, I don't think. A lot of people traveled into Vegas.
But I just made them. This is ours now.
It's
us.
It's the island of relevancy. That's what you do, brother. You bring it. So, all the things that Paul said, am I allowed to mention during the match, or are we just eliminating all of Paul Heyman diction from your match?
You're asking him for permission to do your commentary.
Shut up, Cole.
Sorry.
Tribal chief.
It's enough out of you.
Respect.
When are you going to ask?
I do have a question, but
go ahead, Cole.
I want to know who's going to carry the Ulafala.
Well,
to the ring.
We know who that is.
It's got a new
the
holder
OTC,
now.
and then one very special man as well.
47, if you will.
I don't know. That's the thing. I haven't had to do this before. So there's going to be a few things that we got to figure out there on the fly. I know you're pretty pre-rehearsed and you like to look at your stuff and be prepared, but I like to go out there and let my instincts take over.
Yeah,
kind of like the
like
early
us.
question about all that experience I got on the job, you know what I mean? I like to go out there and just let it rip. I don't sit there and think about all these stupid things like you all the time,
Yeah, but I need to tell stories and I need to tell what's going on.
Well, you want me to do your job too or what?
You have been doing a lot of people's jobs.
How much does he make? You tack it on how much I make and boom, we got a deal. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who is about to catapult the WWE to newer heights somehow, maybe even all the way to space.
Well, we're doing that.
At least
we're doing that these days.
That's what I heard.
No,
Yes, we
not.
are, brother. Yes, we are.
Believe it. No, we're not.
Yes, all right.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we got a flat earther over here?
No.
Pretty damn close, dude.
Never been to the moon either, Roman. Don't buy in, Tribal Chief.
No doubt. Anyways, a man who is going to put this company on his back yet again like he's done since he got here. Our Tribal Chief and winner of Saturday night's main event at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure, dude.
Thank you, brother.
What a specimen. Ladies and gentlemen,